Y'all, I'm probably late to the game. Did you guys already get these? Oh, the bunnies, the bunny lay less lapping, less lapping, the new spring release IOD bunny molds. Oh my goodness. So I am a fan of the front facing one, though these two are cute too. I really like the front facing one. And I actually have a different product I want to test out. Um, it's different to me anyway, to do a mold of this with. Look at this. This is a Hobby Lobby unfinished. Look at it, already has a hanger on it. Hobby Lobby. It says, you know, it was 40% off. So it is a little bit pricey. I didn't realize it was $28.99. Grab and go, man. Grab and go. But it is gorgeous. I mean, that just speaks for itself. So I thought the bunny would be so pretty on this. But this is unfinished wood, right? Unfinished wood. Let's take that tag off and woohoo. Sometimes you grab and go. I don't know. I still would have grabbed it. Still would have grabbed it because I'm like, oh, that's so pretty. I mean, imagine what you pay for a frame. And it has a hanger that I don't have to figure out how to do. So it's all good though. So when I was looking for some air dry clay or I actually saw somebody on I don't know, one of the reels, and then they were using a wood resin, a wood putty to make cast with. And so I found Daz. I've used this one before. And I'm like, ooh, sandable, wood, stainable if I wanted to stain it. But I was really just curious on using it. So that's what I'm going to do on this one. I'm going to see how this works. Have you all used it? Leave me comments down below or tell me in the comments if you have and you've had good luck. We will see. I usually like to do resin because I'm a very impatient person for something to dry. So we'll see. It's cold to the touch. It's, you know, you can tell there's a lot of moisture in there. The baking soda, a little bit baking soda. Sprinkle my mold so that it will release. One of the steps I normally have to do a take 2 on because I end up forgetting. I definitely want to make sure I get it in the ears and the little feeties. It's just baking soda. Okay, I'm going to take it over to the trash, dump the excess out. I'm curious to see if this is going to feel like sawdust. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really sure how much it'll take, but I'm going to start warming it up. Yeah, it's got that grittiness of sawdust to it, which is what it needs to be. But I just wanted to warm it up a little bit so we can start shaping it. And then we'll start packing it in there. It kind of separates on me, so I'm going to use a brayer to kind of try to pack it in a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to put a little of the soda on the back to really push it in there because it keeps sticking to my roller. Kind of like we're doing pie. Air dry clay a lot as filler, like for nail holes and stuff. So I figured, well, if it didn't work, okay. we will make it work, right? But I don't want it to be thick that it sticks up from the mold, so. Nope, it's the feet. Oh, well, I feel like I can reattach the foot. Okay, there's my bunny. I'm just going to let it dry. I think it's so fragile in the wet stage that I'm just going to leave it alone and let's see how. I can already tell it's lighter here and there that it is drying. I need to air seal my air dry clay. I always put it in a Ziploc. And then I'll pile this all together and I'll probably use it as wood filler. I have one of these gorgeous frames. Nothing, no picture. The brass frame, the glass, and the board. So it's always fun trying to reattach them. And the velvet is the back. So I'm going to do one of the bunnies also. There again, I like the front facing bunny, but this time I'm going to use the casting resin, the quick, what is it? Quick, it doesn't matter. It's casting resin, the casting resin. So we're going to be using the amazing casting resin. If you're like me and you have old eyes, it's always nice to do a little line with a Sharpie, like I'm doing it under the 20. Because I need it to be more than just clear, so you put each part up to that line. See how easy it makes it when you write out on a little Sharpie. Okay, now we have our two. Now I'm going to close them before mixing. Every time you open it, it wants to oxidize. So, and then I buy these from Painted Heirloom, just a little silicone because it's easy to clean out after you're done. So we're going to take the part A, which is the clear, and then the part B, which has a little yellow tint to it. And then you stir it. And then you'll see it turn cloudy. And then once it turns clear, it's ready to pour. And it's really a fast process. See how quickly it changed? And you don't need to put anything in your, I tried to clean it as best as I can. So you're just gonna, I hope I mixed up enough. Getting those little ears. Oh, no, I think I do need a little bit more in the ears. Now we just let this start doing its magic. It will, this is a white casting resin, so it'll start to turn cloudy and white. I'm just waiting on the ears now. Though I'm not sure if the ears had enough hot. They might be a little thin. While I have the waiting process, I'll go ahead and I see that there's some paper or something on the frame. So sometimes it's easier to use your fingers and feel it than it is to. I have this beautiful fabric wallpaper. I'm in my stash, trying to use things up. But I thought, look at, because it's already aged and crackled, and if I, like, do I? No, I definitely like the greener. I like the greener, so I'm gonna cut out. It's very rolly. Attach this to the board. I'm actually going to use very hot glue. There's lots of fibers in that wallpaper, and I need to apply it all at the same time. So I need my glue not to dry terribly fast. So I'm just going to use a brayer to help me along, trying to get it tight and then pull it into the fibers. So I didn't put it all the way out to the edge because the pressure will make it go to the edge. Yeah, I feel like it's attached. Need to cut off the excess. So I did go back in and mix a little bit more up to add to the bunny's ears. So I'm hoping that that's going to set up. It'll be fine. But I'm going to flip this out now on a piece of wax paper. I love to see that image. Oh, so cute. There he is. Such detail. Well, and it got any other little other that I had gotten off. But oh my gosh, so cute. They do so wonderful with their details. Just want to pet his little chin, don't ya? His puffy cheeks. Oh my gosh, so cute. Oh, I think he's going to be very cute on there, though it's still a little bit tacky. So I have to wait. I'm going to paint him anyway. I think I'm going to put some dried flowers around it. Okay, I'm going to start off with him first. I don't think he is not completely dry. They're still cold to the touch, but I thought just to prevent them from cracking or anything like that, that I would seal it in with some shellac. I wasn't sure how dry this would be. It was so dry when I was working with it that I thought, you know what, I don't think it's going to hurt to seal this little guy in with some shellac. In the same spring collection, they came out with some of these florals. This one is Transfer Flora Greca. Yeah, I can't even speak the English language very well. And then you throw, yeah, anyway, they're very pretty transfer florals. And so I'm going to try to pick a transfer out to put behind it, but I want to pick it out first because I need to know what paint color to match up with it. See, very pretty, but I don't want something like that. I just want something that's going to be backgrounding, very, like this would be, like if they had a smaller one of these, that would just be so pretty on there. But I thought there was some plain, see how there's plain florals? Yeah, just plain little wildflower florals is what I was going for. I think I like the bigger ones. If the bird wasn't in there, I'd do those. I mean, I get why you put the bird in there, but I wish it was that big. But I mean, I could take the bird out. Sorry, birdie, because that would fill up this whole thing. You know, you bought them, use them the way you want to use them. Then my option number 2 is the Toile with a bunny on it. Or maybe both. Yeah, maybe both. Maybe cut out a piece of this and the florals. Can you use too many things? Maybe. A little nervous about the cutting out a circle. Oh, let's get you started. Let's go for it. Okay. Kind of like this background right here. Just trying to get it into the edging there. Let me put a new blade on here, so take my time going around the curved part to cut this off. Well, I want to match up the colors, so usually you would paint first and then, but like I said, I don't want the bird. That's how I am. For this one anyway. I don't think the IOD watches my videos. Anyway, they won't see me tearing apart their. Like I said, we use what we want. Okay. I figure I can use that, like that would be a great spot for the bunny. Oh, it's going to be a little bit bigger. Huh, okay, hold on. I'm going to put it back onto the paper. I'm going to paint it first because maybe that would be cool overlapping it. Okay, so I think green. I know that's a lot of green, right? But I don't want to frame it like with white because if it overlaps like onto the wood, which I think would be really a neat design, it would be just like it looked like it overlapped. So if I think I try to match up the green, I think would be best. It's the, okay, rosemary's too brown. I think I used garden sage before, or I think basil. I think I'm gonna do basil. That way it's dark and it's not so in your face when it overlaps onto the image. So it'll be a hot mess. It could be it could be all good. Good. Oh good. So because basil's dark. And that is definitely raw wood. Kind of have a dark and moody going on here with the bunny. Bunnies can be moody. Boy, can they be moody. My kids had bunnies. The first fair years they showed bunnies. Lizzie, our girl bunny, was she would growl. They were cute little lops. Well, Tunnels wasn't little. Alex's bunny was not little, but he's a big guy. Not a giant, but he was big. He liked his carrots and his alfalfa and cilantro. There's not much he didn't like. This is kind of a messy frame to have to paint because of all the detail. So if I have to sand the back to clean it, that's good. It's fine. I didn't seal this in. If it crackles, it does whatever it is, but definitely not I'm going to paint this real quick kind of frame, that's for sure. And basil's my one that thickens. So I'll have to be grabbing some water because it'll thicken before I know it will, before I'm done with it. But I need a little guy to get in there. And if it gets on the wallpaper, it's fine. I mean, I can fade it in. I mean, I'm sure my cut is not perfect. Though I'm not going to torture you guys because this is going to be a little bit of a process. Okay, I got it painted, but I did not go all the way towards like touching the wallpaper. I'll probably fade that in with some stain and some sanding because I know when I use milk paint on like tape, it pulls it up, it crinkles it. So I didn't want to do that to my wallpaper just in case it happened like that. And I'm just going to kind of help it along using a heat gun. Try to stay off the paper. I'm going to go in with Homestead House antiquing wax. It won't stick. I mean, I can wipe it off the paper. If it doesn't wipe off the paper, then it's going to give it a little bit of age. It's okay. But I want to see if I can blend that in a little bit. That natural wood. Okay, now I want to take one of the cloths because there's texture to this wallpaper. It'll probably like ombre it a little bit, but it's not like there's going to be a defined line. Yeah, all the detail. It'd be okay because you got to seal this in with something. I have it all antiqued. Really pretty. Very pretty. I'm going to attempt to try to do some clear coat. Not too much on the, I mean, if all fails, I can put another piece on here, but so, weather defense. anything, I want to make sure that, you know, some of my paint drips. So I want to clean that up before putting anything around the front. Now we can put, I know with the darker, you're not necessarily going to see a lot of the image, but it's going to be there. It will. So I'm just going to center as much as I possibly can. Some of the wording is going to go on there. Each transfer comes with one of the tools that you use to transfer it on. And if you've not used a transfer before, the image is nice and clear, and then once it transfers onto the item, it starts to get cloudy, and you can tell that it's pulling away. I can't say that I've done a bumpy one before, so we will going down, but hey, first time for everything. The worst is it only stays in this little circle area. I can't say that it's sticking to the frame. Even with the clear coat, it doesn't want to stick. Okay, I'll show you afterwards because it's going to be a while. Okay, so I didn't want to go over on the frame. And I knew it wasn't going to be like, oh my gosh, in your face. That's not what we were going for. This frame just speaks for itself, and I feel like the bunny will be too. So and that was my thought about the bunny. To put him in over here. And then there's a few little, like there's a butterfly here. I could do another butterfly down, so it's a little bit more. There's some bees, like, so you can notice it a little bit more. So I think I'm going to do one of the bees right there. And then another of the butterfly. Do I want it maybe like right here? Bee down in this area. There is a few more random. I feel like I want something right there. So I'm just cutting out this little guy. To add to it. And one more for good measure. Some quick and thick. His ear looks very fragile. Pray for the best. Right. That's all. That's what you have to do sometimes. I think that'll work. It should dry clear. I have some Fusions Picket Fence, and I'm just going to go ahead and paint this little guy white. I think that he'll be, I'm going to antique it, of course, I'm not going to leave him white, but I think that'll be a great background color for that paper. He's so cute. So cute. So now I'm going to flip him around. And I think I'm going to use the aging paste to kind of bring out the details. So it's got a clear coat in it, the Fusions paint. So I picked out some dry flowers I thought coordinated. Remember, it's like the dark and moody. And then I got my little guy and a piece of wood. But I feel like I need to like touch his eyes a little bit. I need to touch his eyes because, so I'm just taking some of the Fusions. Where's the label? I'm taking some of the Fusions chocolate. And then I just feel like we need to see his eyes just a little bit, but not scary. See his eyes, you know? You know what I mean? Yeah, at least we see his eyes now. Okay, so this is just a piece of driftwood. And then one of those where I have to see if I have to try to cut it down or sand it down so it fits. Fortunately, that piece was way too big. Well, and I'm not comfortable trying to cut a sliver down. Just something for the bunny to be sitting on, and then some of the glue to be going into. So I think I'm just going to use hot glue to attach him. Trying to hit all the points here. Yep, and that still works. So far, so good. You gotta make sure that works. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the background of this. And then to glue the stems. These are just Hobby at Lobby. We'll have dried flowers for the seasons. And these are just some of the leftovers that I have. And that may be way too tall. Too tall. Too tall. There. Well, I dry fitted it all, but we have that. And then I have just random. Look at the little fluffy. It's so fluffy. I'm gonna get my glass back in, so I'm gonna put hot glue in. It's nice and hot. So hopefully I can make it all the way around. There's no nail holes. I don't know what they would originally used. They are the prettiest frames, but not the easiest frames to work with when it comes to putting them back together. Once I get it glued on, whatever's there is there. So now to finish this up, I need to seal in my transfer. So I'm just going to use some Fusion's clear wax.